take no Sherlock Holmes, just common sense and what you know. Why break a cage when you got the key? We'll blame it all on Terry. You can't believe all you see. You can't believe all you read. I knew the man, I know the drill. There's something wrong in Zanesville. Could this all be about some land? What they want and what he had, and the deputy who sold the gun. Just blame it all on Thompson. You can't believe all you see. You can't believe all you read. I knew the man, I know the drill. There's something wrong in Zanesville. Whoa, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. Whoa, you can't blame it all on Terry Thompson. They can come for you and come for me, draped in self-righteous democracy. In this wasteland of the free, America, my country. You can't believe all you see. You can't believe all you read. I knew the man, I know the drill. There's something wrong in Zanesville. You can't believe all you see. You can't believe all you read. I knew the man, I know the drill. There's something wrong in Zanesville. There's something wrong in Zanesville. So here I am, standing with you. My true loves were men, but I'm just like you. I've lived my life the best that I could. I've done a lot of things wrong, but I've done some good. For all of my lovers, for all of my friends, this is their song, my gift to them. This is my life, put into words, put my biggest thrill. I've been blessed with some good friends. They're here till the end. We cry and we smile, then we cry again. Well, I'm not a weak man, I'm not easily beat, but this cancer has broke me down to my knees. So this is my life put into words, put down on paper. What's so absurd? All that I've done, it comes down to this. It's been taken away from me by this damn disease. So this is goodbye. My biggest thrill.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, this upcoming music video is about the plight of elephants being poached in the wild and how important it is for conservation efforts of captive elephants to be taken care of in captivity in order for them to survive. We have spent several days at the elephant ranch here in Florida learning about the elephants, how they care, how they think, and how they have such enormous feelings. So sit back and enjoy a music video about 96 elephants being poached today on our planet.
I'm 31, over 10 feet tall, 12,000 pounds, ain't scared of nothing at all. My name is Luke, I'm the lucky one. I live with people that I call my friends, and it's safe here. Yeah, it's safe here. But for all my brothers and all my sisters back in the homeland, it's just fear and disaster. So can you help me? Can you please speak for me and get a message to this crazy insanity? So what's wrong with these people? Killing my family. They hunt and kill us both with spears and guns, 'cause all they want is our ivory. 96 elephants a day disappear on our land. We can take on every animal God made, except the animal in man. My wife and kids, I keep them close to me. But it doesn't matter, you still make them bleed. You hunt them down, hack off their face, all in the name of your ivory trade, all in the name of the human race, all in the name of the human race. But for all my brothers and all my sisters back in the homeland, it's just fear and disaster. So can you help me, can you please speak for me and get a message to this crazy insanity? So what's wrong with these people? They're killing my family. They hunt and kill us both with spears and guns, 'cause all they want is our ivory. 96 elephants a day disappear on our land. We can take on every animal God made except the animal in man. So what's wrong with these people? They're killing my family. They hunt and kill us both with spears and guns, 'cause all they want is our ivory. 96 elephants a day disappear on our land. We can take on every animal God made except the animal in man. Except the animal in man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in and watching our music video about 96 elephants. Filming this video was just the most remarkable thing that I've ever took part in. Learning how to take care of them and how much work it goes into just taking care of elephants in captivity and in the wild for conservation. Without captive elephants and people who love captive elephants, their future looks very dim. So get on allaboutelephants.com, ladies and gentlemen, and help us support the captive conservation of elephants and help us raise money in order to hire rangers to protect the elephants and their families in the wild, so future generations can enjoy these things being on our planet for hundreds of years to come. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, get on allaboutelephants.com and let's help Luke help his family.
90 miles of hard highway, drove my bike to the break of day. I don't care how far I go, just as long as I can let you know you've got a guardian, showing love for every hurting son, showing love to every little girl trapped in a lonely world. You got a guardian, you got a guardian along your way. Little children being learned and beat. Can you turn your back and can you sleep? Well, it's up to me and you, the lone biker and the banker too. You've got a guardian, showing love for every hurting son, showing love for every little girl trapped in her lonely world. You've got a guardian. You've got a guardian along your way. Oh, yeah. your three-piece suit, cotton gown or cowboy boots. It don't matter about the clothes you wear. Let the kids know that you care. You've got a guardian, showing love for every hurt your son, showing love to every little girl trapped in a lonely world. You've got a guardian, showing love for every hurt your son, showing love to every little girl trapped in her lonely world. You've got a guardian. You've got a guardian along your way.
The mission of Guardians of the Children is to recognize and react to child abuse and educate the public to do the same, to serve as advocates to provide strength and stability to families in crisis, and be an answer to the prayer of an abused child or teen for courage, support, and protection. Don't let your silence drown out their cries.
Tell all the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell them that the tiger needs a little bit of love. Let them run the jungle, let them roam their land. Then stand back and marvel, what a beautiful cat. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, the tiger saw a man. I can give him a home, safe and warm. But the law wants to ban me. Can you tell me who's wrong? Every time they move, every time they breathe, I can feel their power, I can feel their peace. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, the tiger saw a man. Is a ticket that'll soon be gone, so you better take a picture. What a sad, sad song. We'll call it Armageddon, such a painful loss. When they kill all the tigers in the Holocaust. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, tiger saw a man. I saw a tiger, tiger saw a man.
Joe Exotic TV is a licensed member of the U.S. Press Association. All video footage is owned and played by White Monkey Productions. Some scenes may be reenacted or recreated, dramatized, or made up for purposes of entertainment only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Reason I don't think I'm getting across here, but welcome to video message number, God, I'm so confused already tonight. Anyway, welcome to the show. Big crowd, 42,000 people watching tonight. I appreciate it. We're going to step right into video message number 166. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is video message number 166. Today, I'm a pissed off man. You know, I am so tired of this crooked chicken shit politics in the United States Department of Agriculture and the Florida Fish and Wildlife letting Carol Baskin down there at Big Cat Rescue pay her way for protection or whatever the hell's going on in this industry. Every politician down there in Florida, every law enforcement officer, the Inspector General, the Office of the Inspector General, the Attorney General, Marco Rubio, you're a senator, get off your ass, because we have a problem in Florida right now, buddy, and I am not going to shut the hell up until something's done about all of this stuff. I am going to show you proof and evidence that an accident happened at Big Cat Rescue on February the 24th. A mountain lion bit a woman. She went to the emergency room. I verified it with the emergency room. Here is a copy of the health department's report. Now that's where the health department called the Fish and Wildlife, and they could give a shit. Why? Because it's Carol Baskin at Big Cat Rescue. Anybody else in Florida get bit or get hurt, and the USDA, OSHA, the Florida Fish and Wildlife, would be crumbling so far up their ass that they couldn't smell right. And she never makes the news, never gets written up, never gets investigated, and it is time, America and the people in the United States Department of Agriculture, you start playing by a fair rule, because people, this man's not going to shut up until something's done. I'm going to pop up on the screen the initial report where Carol Baskin says this wasn't reported till several days later, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife no more took incentive on investigating this and going to the hospital than a man in the damn moon. Now, the people in the horse industry, the circus industry, anybody licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture are getting fucking harassed by the animal rights people. We want some answers. How come the U.S. Department of Agriculture plays favoritism to anybody that puts money in their pocket or what the hell's going on? But you can bet your ass this man right here is going to contact every news media and every politician in this country until we get some goddamn answers of how come we're not playing by a fair field and we're not all getting treated the same. So this bite that happened down at Big Cat Rescue that I just proved is an absolute lie, that they lied on government paperwork. I want their jobs. And I'm not going to shut up until I get their jobs. And people, I'll be back tomorrow for video message number 167, because I am far from over. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I have been on the phone and the internet bitching and complaining and filing charges and complaints with everybody I could possibly think of today. First thing about starting out is running for political office is, you know what? It shouldn't be who you like and who you don't like. It should be sticking up for what's right and what's wrong, whether you agree with what's right or what's wrong or not. If the American people are getting screwed over, somebody should stand up and take a stand for them. And that's exactly what I'm doing. You see, a lot of people don't understand. I ain't got nothing to lose doing this.
I don't have no political friends. I ain't got no great big pack paying my campaign funds or anything else. I'm supporting nothing but the little people of this country that have never had a voice in this country. I don't care who I offend, and I don't care who I step on in order to do it. I called Channel 10 News down there in Tampa, Florida today. They're scared to run a story because of Carol Baskin's repercussions. I called Bay News 9 and spoke to the reporters down there. They love Carol Baskin. They have nothing they want to say bad about her. But I'll tell you what, she done nothing but free me up of spare time of being able to do nothing but expose that bitch. She took my semi and she took my semi-tractor. Everything else I got is basically trash. So you know what? You can take that $1 million judgment and stick it right up your ass because you made me this way. I ain't got nothing, woman, but time to expose you people, and I promise you, I'm going to get on national television, and that little tiger down there in Conroe, Texas, that's running around today that everybody's now covering on the news, just like that little tiger out there in California that was running around. Where do they always end up? At a Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries animal shelter so y'all can raise some money and push some more laws. I'm onto this shit. I'd bet my life on it that somebody within yours organizations is turning them little tigers loose. Why? Because they're little enough they won't hurt nobody, and you know that. They're tame enough that they can be caught and sent to one of your facilities. But the main thing is you're making it look like private owners are turning these tigers loose because they're irresponsible. So that way you can push laws, just like somebody over there in Ohio killed Terry Thompson and freaked the entire world out that exotic animal owners are crazy. But you know something? You fucked up. Because all last week you're on Yahoo News spreading shit around. There's too many tigers in America. And what do tomorrow? You're flying one in from Peru, rescued from a circus. Why? Because there ain't enough in America to rescue that are not high-profile tiger rescues in order to make your millions of dollars. Let me tell you something. Wayne Pacelli, the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, and Big Cat Rescue, and everybody else, you know what? I ain't scared of dying for this cause. You can shoot me or you can shove a corn cob up my ass. I don't give a damn. But I am dedicated the rest of my life to bringing you out in public. If I don't win this election, which I probably won't because this political bullshit is just as crooked as the animal bullshit. But you can guarantee one thing. I've learned a whole lot from this time, and you can bet your ass in the next 4 years, I'm going to run again. Except I'm not doing it as an independent. I'm going to re-register as a Republican, and I'm going to get on that stage from the beginning. And you people are going to regret you ever met me. The political people of this world are going to start paying back this Social Security that you robbed from people. And the political people up there in Congress that have protected themselves with laws to where they get paid the rest of their lives, and we got 18-year-old people going over to fight the wars that you people start and come back with arms and legs missing, and you say have a great day and you don't give them a paycheck for the rest of your life while you people sit up there in your little suits and your leather chairs taking money from the animal rights people in your leather shoes, and the rest of them people over there come back all fucked up in the head and missing body parts, and you're not taking care of them, and you're throwing them out of tent cities in the middle of snowstorms 2 days before Christmas. We're going to get rid of the IRS, and we're going to do a flat tax. And we're going to solve this United States Department of Agriculture bullshit being infiltrated by the animal rights people. And the laws are going to start being placed upon everybody for the same way. All of this, we take money from this organization, and we're going to vote for this, and we're going to hide Carol Baskin's animal bites and all of her attacks and everything else. You people have no idea who you're up against right now because you have officially pissed me off. Coming up next, you want to see that we neuter our tigers in order to keep the bad genetics from going around, and we're professional breeders? That's coming up right now. Lunch. A lot of people talk about breeding and inbreeding of tigers in captivity in order to sell them and make money, and you get the cross eyes and club palates and club feet and all that. The funny thing about what a lot of people talk about online is they really have no idea what they're talking about, especially this facility here. We have 214 tigers. We have 16 in one cage that are approximately 15 to 18 months old. There's 6 males inside this cage that we're not sure about of their background and their bloodline because they came in on a rehome. But the females we know are not definitely not related to the 2 white males that we have in there. So this morning we're going to take and neuter all of the males that we're unsure about, so that way we don't have to worry about bad genetics or anybody being inbred. And the 2 white males are from 2 different bloodlines that we're sure about. So they will grow up and they'll breed the remaining females that are inside this enclosure, and they're all heteros. That's where we're going to get white tigers and snow tigers, by breeding an unrelated white male to a bunch of unrelated heterozygous females. And that is how you properly breed and get white tigers without any cross eyes, cleft palates, or club feet. So sit back and watch how we neuter 6 tigers this morning. Well, that's how we neuter 6 tigers, and the staff is gonna take a chance this afternoon, and we're gonna have a Tiger Mountain oyster fry. Just see what they think of how these things taste. But a lot of people are gonna ask questions too. Well, how come you're doing this out in the cage and doing it on straw, and you don't have a tube down the throat and everything else like you see on Big Cat Rescue and a few other videos out there that are putting all this hype up in order to neuter an animal and raise a whole bunch of money and suck a big heartstring story. Our vet has been doing this for many, many years, and she prefers to sedate them with an injection versus gas. It's very simple. They'll be asleep for an hour, they'll wake up on their own. The medicine that we use can be reversed, and it's just a simple surgery, so there's no reason to gas them, shove a tube down their throat, as long as their heart rate and their breathing is monitored while they're under this simple sedation. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how things are done here at this park, and that's how responsible we are. The last question going through your mind, I can almost promise you, is, well, have you ever had one not wake up? Out of the over 1,500 tigers that I have rescued and took care of, I have never not had one wake up. You need to look at somebody else's track record of how many don't wake up under anesthesia and simple x-rays, because they take it a little too far in order to make videos and raise money. It's not about the care of the animals or proper genetics for them. It's about raising that money. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we neuter, and that's how we do proper genetics here at the facility that I work at. So, have a great day, and if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to ask. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the crooked politics that's going on in this country, I know, I travel around and I talk to a whole bunch of people throughout this country already, and I haven't even started. And a lot of people don't even watch the debates. They don't even watch anything that's going on CNN, and they don't even vote, because America has basically given up. You'll see that during the debates and all of the hometown meetings and everything, everybody's showing up in 3-piece suits and everything else. The only people that show up are the people that have money invested in this, because the American people don't have a vote. If you can't see through this contested convention and all the hype and the drama that's going on with the debates, nobody has an opportunity to really win this race. The news media will put out whoever they want to cover and whoever they want to win this race. But the worst thing about all of this stuff right here is this has been going on since way before November of last year. Have you watched one debate yet where they have talked about anything besides the few items of their own platform? Have you seen any of them change their mind and take the public opinion and change their mind of what the American people want? Absolutely not. You know, I have answered every email and I've answered every question anybody has ever sent me. And I'm open enough minded to change my mind on anything if anybody has a better solution of what's going to fix this country. For you, not for the congressman and not for the politicians. So, damn that. Get on www.joeexotic2016.com, ladies and gentlemen. Ask the questions in the chat room or anywhere else you want to ask them, and I'll try and answer them. And if I ain't got a good enough answer for you, we'll find somebody that's got a good enough answer. And if you've got a better answer than I do, I am open enough minded to change my mind and change that on my platform in order to better what you think is going to work. And if you think it's going to work better than what I've got that's going to work, we're going to change our mind. And we're going to put what you think is going to work up there. And that's what somebody should really be running for, the president of this country, is somebody that's going to listen to the people. And if you've got better ideas than the politicians do, by God, we're going to use them. All right, now, I spent 30 minutes with a high school group out of Oklahoma City that did a documentary on me the other day. And ladies and gentlemen, this right here will tell you basically the truth of what's going on in this park and what's going on in this world with the scams and all the crap behind the animal rights people. So grab you a cup and some popcorn or some cookies, because this one right here is going to be a long video, ladies and gentlemen. But sit back and watch the high school film crew in Oklahoma City.
You know, the world knows me as Joe Exotic, but my real name is Joseph Maldonado.
Do you ever wonder about the thunder?
What made you want to start this place?
Well, you know, it's kind of a long story, so I'll try and cut it short for you, all right? But me and my brother had a 40,000 square foot pet store in Arlington, Texas for 16 years, and we, you know, sold exotic animals. We did rehab for native animals and all that stuff. And then October the 14th of 1997, he was moving my sister from Arlington to Florida, and he made it to Dallas, and a drunk semi-driver hit him and killed him. And before I signed the papers to shut his life support machine off, I promised him that he wouldn't die for no reason. He wouldn't just be another statistic of a drunk driver. So me and my mom and dad, we sold the pet store. They took the insurance money that they got, and we combined the profits together. And we bought this property, and we built this originally in memory of my brother, and that's why it's named GW.
Wow.
And one of his dreams was to go to Africa and see the real deal, you know, go in the bush with the native people and see the animals running free. And since he didn't do that, we decided to rescue the animals that he wanted to see.
Wow,
And that's why I'm here.
So what's your mission with this place?
You know, we have several missions. One is, you know, to give misplaced animals a place to live, you know, for the rest of their life. We breed. We're part of a very, very intense species survival plan to make sure that we're doing this correct and the information that we put out there is true. And, you know, you even as a student and a person who lives in Oklahoma, probably will never go to Africa.
Right.
Or India or anywhere where these animals are from. So, you know, the biggest thing is, and one of the biggest things we combat out there with the animal rights people is, they say that if I get a baby tiger out and let you cuddle it and play with it, that's abuse, okay? But having a baby tiger, shut your radios off. Having a baby tiger in your lap will make you understand while I'm talking to you and make you appreciate saving the rainforest and these animals as habitat much more than if I sit in a classroom. Because I used to tour, you know, doing magic for 9 years, and I did lectures and everything else. Without the animal, you can't keep people's attention long enough to explain to them. And once you meet that animal and you fall in love with a baby tiger, you might remember next time you go to the store what products are coming from their environment that are killing them, okay? So that's the combined mission here. Is A, we're hoping to save the species, because we're not going to save them in the wild. In 10 years they're going to be extinct. That's a matter of fact, you know. people breed worse than rabbits. And we're destroying their habitat at the rate of 214,000 acres a day because we're cutting down their forest for plywood, toilet paper, and everything else. So captive tigers, unfortunately, we'd all love to just go turn these all loose in the jungle.
Right.
But we have to face the fact that in today's world, and even in America, when a bear comes up on somebody's back porch in California, what do? They put him down because he's a danger to human beings.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the animals don't have any rights in the wild anymore because we've taken over. So they got to live in cages. So we just got to make it as comfortable for them to live in cages, or in 50 years, nobody's ever going to see one.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a combined mission of what I do here.
How do you go about rescuing the tigers?
Well, 10 years ago, a whole lot of people own tigers as private pets. Okay, those days are over. All right, most of the people that have had tigers got old; they can't take care of them anymore, or the owners have passed away. And we took a lot of animals and tigers from private homes that people had in their yards. Nowadays, it's sanctuaries. We're cleaning out sanctuaries that are going broke or belly up. And I don't like the word sanctuary, and that's why we call this a zoo for unwanted animals, because in my opinion, a sanctuary, and I can really dig into that here in a minute, is nothing but a private owner with a hoarding problem. Okay, that has found a loophole around paying taxes by being a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, who is a private owner in this country? Okay, every sanctuary, every zoo. Okay, there are hardly no city-owned zoos anymore. Oklahoma City Zoo is a private zoo, and it started with a menagerie back in the day of 2 animals. And it just happened to grow and grow, and then they got sales tax money, off the city, and it's an entertainment thing now.
Right.
But it's still a private owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because it's a non-profit organization. It's not owned by the city of Oklahoma City, and that's where people really get so much confused. Is everything's against private owners? Well, everybody's a private owner because it's not a government-owned facility. So when you start reading online that we should ban private ownership, the only thing that you see on private ownership being banned on private ownership are the people making millions off of scamming for the animals that call themselves a sanctuary. So what makes them any better than you or me? It's just who has the best marketing plan and the most people on social media. That's what it boils down to.
That's right. Okay. Do you breed?
I do breed. You bet. I'm actually the world's leading expert of hybridization of big cats. Okay. A lot of people on the internet, a lot of people with animal rights organizations. They make millions. This slamming people on the internet. If I can put a picture of you tonight on my Facebook and tell people that you have a pit bull tied to a tree in your backyard and you beat him every day, I could raise $2,000 by midnight. Honest to God. Because there's so many people out there in the world that love animals and they believe every damn heart-jerking story there is out there. Okay, so there's stories out there, that say hybrid animals are born with genetic defects, or babies are too big to be born, or don't live as long. That's all crap. It's all crap because we've proven it with genetic testing of breeding hybrids. I'm the only one in the world who has bred ligers, teligers, tigons, and lalagers. Why do we do this? Okay, because it proves 2 things. One, all big cats are genetically the same. Okay, I believe that all of our cats derive from the saber-tooth tiger. Millions of years ago. Okay, during the Ice Age, they got trapped on other continents. When it melted, they grew to the environment. Okay, me and you genetically are the same. Okay, but your skin color is black, and when you're in Africa, when black people live in Africa, they're shorter, Why? Because it's hotter, and we grew to our environment. But inside genetically, our DNA is and our genetics, we're still the same human being. It's the same way with big cats. You can breed a lion to a leopard. You can breed a leopard to a bobcat. The secret is they have to grow up together to get rid of the discrimination between the two species. Okay, because they're from different parts of the world. You can't throw an adult tiger and an adult lion together and expect them to get along. Okay, like we can't throw Trump and Hillary Clinton in the same room and expect them to get along. Okay, so they got to grow up together. And nobody done this or does this because you can't make money doing it, because it takes 5 years in between each step, between they're born to the minute that they can have conception and have babies is 5 years. So I've been at this process for over 16 years now, and I'm on my last step to prove that they all derive from a saber-tooth tiger. Okay, it's a $500 million a year business on the internet, lying about all this stuff. Okay, so the other reason that we do it is it proves that genetically a hybrid animal is stronger than a purebred animal. Okay, and to put it in layman's terms for you to understand it, and it's kind of a little funnier explanation, is go get a mutt dog from a dog pound. Okay, take him home, let him get run over twice, feed him rat poison, and he never needs to go to the doctor. Why? Because genetically he's stronger. Go get yourself a purebred Doberman Pinscher or a poodle or something like that, and you're constantly at the pet store buying specialty diets because your stomach's a wreck, they got skin allergies, their eyes are watery. Why? Because genetically they've been bred too long. Okay, so why do we want hybrid cats? Okay, we've been able to create a much larger, much genetically stronger, lives just as long, living incubator to hide that tiger DNA inside of them. Okay, if they ever become extinct, we can put a tiger back on our planet.
Wow.
That's why I do this. And that's why the animal rights people and the people that combat, oh, you shouldn't be breeding tigers in America, are pissed off because I'm ruining their plan. Okay, because they're making money and I'm proving they're wrong. It's the same thing with white tigers. Okay, it's a money-making business. There was only one white tiger ever in the world born with a snub nose. Looked like he has Down syndrome. His name was Kenny, and he's been dead for several years now. But he lived at a place in Turpentine Creek over in Arkansas. And they exploited that poor tiger till the cows came home. All white tigers are inbred, or they look like this, okay? And people just giving money, fist over fist, okay, to stop breeding of white tigers. Okay, well, the truth behind white tigers is they derive from a heterozygous tiger, which is an orange tiger that carries a white gene. And you can walk in any zoo and tell what a heterozygous tiger is by looking in their eyes. If they got a blue tint or a green tint to their eyes, they carry the white gene. Okay, there's no such thing as a white Siberian tiger. All colored tigers or come from Bengal tigers. Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing. You know, as famous as St. Freedom Roy is, they scamming the public, saving the great Siberian white tiger. There's no such thing as a Siberian white tiger. Okay, so the process, and you know, inbreeding goes on in everything. Dogs, cats, tigers, people. You know, we can't stop it. Okay, the people that are just breeding to make money, inbreed. Okay. But the truth of inbreeding to get a white tiger is absolutely false. It's nothing but a money-making scam because they derive from two orange tigers. Okay, you can breed two white tigers all day long for the rest of their life, and it's not ever going to produce a white tiger if that gene's not strong enough. They'll always have orange tigers.
Right.
So we couldn't control when that white gene's going to pop up if we wanted to,
Yeah.
by inbreeding or not inbreeding.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And that, you know, if I successfully do anything in my lifetime, it is to stop the lies and the scams of these people making money out there telling lies and taking people's money. And it's the worst thing, you know, because when we had the May 3rd tornado in Oklahoma, you know, the Humane Society of the United States came in and they raised $1.7 million to take care of all these people's animals that were in the tornado. Okay, well, the Humane Society of the United States doesn't even own a shelter. They use that name to make you think that they're funding the Oklahoma Humane Society, okay? And they don't. It's just a marketing firm owned by a man named Wayne Pacelli. And he's got the biggest jet you've ever seen. He's got the best pension fund you've ever seen. And he's a multi-millionaire because and what makes me even sadder about all this is off of the people who died in that tornado and all the people's animals who got displaced in that tornado. And he took all the money and not a dime of it stayed in Oklahoma. Okay, and that's what people, every day when I do my shows here at the port, quit giving your money away to people on the internet. There's so many scams out there, especially animals, because we all love animals, And I could take my film crew today and I could go put 10 tigers in a tiny little cage and make it sound like I'm rescuing them from you in your backyard. Put a commercial on Facebook or on TV, $19.99 a month to help us save all these tigers trapped in this little cage. And people just give you money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that easy, and it's so sad because right now people can't afford health care, they can't afford the Social Security, they can't pay their bills, but they're giving the money away to crooks on the internet because they love animals.
All right. How many tigers do you have here?
214.
How do you take care of them?
We have a staff of 18 people here that feed and clean every cage every day, and we go through 40,000 pounds of meat a week, and it costs close to $60,000 a month that I have to scrape and scrounge to find, especially when it's raining because you don't have any customers. To keep them fed, we have one grocery store chain that I'm not allowed to say their name. It supplies us with a lot of their outdated meat and the meat that they can't sell, but we have to subsidize that with bought meat, and that's another scam out there. I can healthily feed according to the Animal Welfare Act, and you see how fat they are.
They're healthy.
I can feed a tiger for $25 a week, okay? And that comes down to about $3,000 a year, okay? And you'll have everybody out there scamming the public, raising money saying it costs them $10,000 a year to feed a tiger.
Yeah.
And people believe it because they don't ever put no research behind anything, and they don't ever do the math before they start handing over the money.
Do you have vets that come?
We have a staff vet. Yes, ma'am. And that's all part of being USDA licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture. Is we have to have a staff vet. We have to have protocols and all that stuff.
Okay. What other kinds of animals do you have?
Oh my God, we got black bears, we got grizzly bears, we got alligators, we got probably 37 different species of primates. We got chimpanzees, we got snakes, we got lizards, we got skunks, we got wolves, we got chickens, ducks, kangaroos. We got a lot of stuff here.
That's amazing.
We do. We have a lot of stuff here.
What do you guys want to ask?
Well, we already got the allegations out of the way.
Yeah, we talked to you about this.
It's pretty much goes back to the scam thing. It's the same way with PETA. Their kill rate last year was 73%. Out of every dog they took in, they only adopted out 60, and that's sending them to other shelters. That's not adopting them themselves. They pawned them off on other animal shelters, okay? And they killed 73%. I have a no kill rate, period. Okay, but I'm the bad guy because they're in cages. Okay, and part of my platform is running for president and trying to wake people up around here. Is in our country, a dog in a cage has more rights than your mother or your grandmother in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And that we have a problem in America when the human life of an elderly person has less rights than a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really sit back and think about that quote right there, it really, really rips your heart out. What we're doing to our old people, and everybody's on the news bitching about a dog in a cage.
Yeah. So tell us more about your candidacy.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk all day.
I love it.
The American person, me and you, don't have a voice. Nobody wants to listen to us because we're not rich, we're not famous. I've made movies all over the world, but what made me want to run as president of this country started out in October of 2014. I had prostate surgery and all of my organs quit. And I spent 37 days in the hospital hooked to machines trying to stay alive. People all over the world praying for me on Facebook and everything else. And I walked out of there the first time. I've been in ICU 5 times since then. And I'm paying $918 a month in insurance, and my insurance refused to pay a dime. So now I'm sitting on $1 million hospital bill that has completely ruined my life. Because you can't buy nothing, you can't get a loan, you can't do anything. And you've been paying these people for $918 a month for 10 years. Okay, while the CEO of Aetna sits up there and his salary is $66 million a year. And me and you can't get insurance. And so that's what really started it, that and the lies of the animal rights people and everything else. You know, if you look at our politicians, they all have a HLS, a humane legislative scorecard, okay? It tells you how many times they vote for animal rights bills. Bernie Sanders has voted 110%, okay? So he's taking my rights away and he don't know anything about what I do. It's the same way with Social Security. You know, our government, and being young kids, you may not even realize this. When you have a job and they take money out of your check for Social Security, your employer has to match that. The government doesn't put in a dime. And our government has stole $2.7 trillion of your mom and dad and your grandma and grandpa's Social Security money. And they're cutting the Social Security checks because the government borrowed that money and made bad investments and can't pay it back. So each time it gets paid back. And how it needs to get paid back is Congress people, election people in Congress, whether they get voted out or they finish their term, get paid the rest of their lives, okay? And they get insurance for the rest of their lives, paid by you, the taxpayer. Meanwhile, they're taking your grandma's Social Security money away from her each month to pay all them bills, okay? Then another problem that I have is we have 18-year-old kids signing up for the military, and they're going over to Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere else, and they're coming back with arms missing and legs missing. And our country does nothing for our veterans, nothing. 2 days before Christmas, you know, our homeless vets are living in Denver, Colorado in little tent cities. And 2 days before Christmas in a snow blizzard, the city has an ordinance that they can't live in tent cities. So they uprooted them in the middle of a snow blizzard because it was an eyesore. 2 days before Christmas, okay? So you have 18-year-old people that are going to the military and losing their life, losing their families because they're gone so bad, and you know, something comes up with their family, or they come back with PTSD or missing limbs and all that shit, and they don't get a check ever from that point on, okay? But our congressmen get paid the rest of their lives? Bullshit, it's all horse shit, and I'm not gonna stand back and let this happen anymore. Do I have a chance of winning? Hell no. Okay, look what they're doing to the Republican Party right now. The American people are voting for Trump. That's what they want, okay? But the GOP is threatening to not give him the nomination if it's a contested convention. So that right there tells you that your vote don't count in this country. You don't have a voice in this country, because if you did, Trump would be our president, whether you like the man or not, okay? What he did do was he broke ground to show how crooked our political system is. You know, and the electoral college is where the crooked system starts, and we need to get rid of the electoral college, because in a state, if Hillary Clinton wins and the electoral representative from that state after the election goes to Congress and says, no, we're nominating Bernie Sanders, it didn't matter who voted in that state. It's all ran by the electoral college. So we people of America don't have a voice. Okay, our next problem is the IRS. It needs to be abolished completely. Okay, 8% tax on you, me, the rich guy, the poor guy, everybody. Straight across your board, 8% tax, okay? One computer system, a handful of people filing everybody's taxes, because it's 8% on everything that you profit, okay? So, what do we do? What do we do there? Okay, so along with the IRS, you have 1.5 million nonprofits in this country. Okay, which are nothing but a tax scam. Okay, the NFL is nonprofit. Why the hell is the NFL nonprofit? Okay, they're making $44 million a year to play football, paid by you, the taxpayer. It's subsidized by you, not and me. Okay. Why is PETA nonprofit? Why is the Humane Society of the United States nonprofit? Why is Hillary Clinton nonprofit? She's sitting on $432 million. Okay. So, the only nonprofits, in my opinion, we need in this country are life-saving hospitals, like Shriners and Children's Hospitals and stuff like that, and life-saving research. Okay? You take and get rid of all the other nonprofits. And I'm nonprofit. I'll give up my nonprofit. You don't, I ain't making any money, so what the hell good is it doing me? All right? So, get rid of all them nonprofits and charge them 8% on all that money from now on. And you know I could get this country out of debt in 2.5 years just off of that? That's how big the scam is. But you know why nobody will listen? Nobody will interview me on the news? And I could never win this election if I wanted to? Because the only people that I am going after are the people who are making the millions of dollars. And they got a hell of a lot more friends than I got. And that's what's wrong with this country. You can see the news media, you know, who the news media wants to win, Hillary Clinton. Because, you know, they're dogging everybody else. You know, in New York yesterday, during a major election, they misquoted Trump the night before. You know, he was talking about 9/11 and the World Trade Center, and he says, I was at 7-Eleven. He was talking about the cross street 7-Eleven, 3 blocks from ground zero. You know, if you listen to the man's speech, he said, I witnessed the most heroic people, the firefighters. He goes, I was at 7-Eleven with the firefighters and the police witnessing. Okay, why would you be at 7-Eleven, the store, with the firefighters when the plane hit the World Trade Center? Okay, he was at the intersection of 7-Eleven, which was 3 blocks away from the World Trade Center. And the news media did everything they could to ruin his day yesterday. And that is wrong.
Right. Oh, well, what else do you guys
I have one last question. Is there a difference between your tigers in captivity's lifespan and the ones in the wild?
Okay, good question. Okay, a tiger in the wild only lives 10 to 14 years. Okay, why? Disease, starvation, poaching, and habitat destruction. Okay, a tiger, my oldest tiger is 23.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because he has a full diet. He has a veterinarian here every day making sure that he's healthy. You know, he gets his vaccinations, and you don't have to worry about being a skin on somebody's wall.
Yeah. That's great.
So the idea once again, would we all like to see tigers run around in the wild? You betcha. I would kill to go to a country and see a tiger in the wild. You know, but in order to save them, they're going to have to be in captivity. And that's just realistic. I live in a real world.
Right.
Yeah, I don't live in a fantasy world.
Are there other big tiger rescue places?
You know, not that has as many as I do, or even close. You know, there's one over in Tennessee. There's one in Colorado. There is one in Indiana. And, you know, do I agree with what they're doing? No, because they're scamming the public on everything that they're talking about, you know. I built this in memory of my brother, and I just can't lie because I believe that just black clouds hang over you, you know. And I intend on talking to my brother one day. And I'm not going to use him or these animals to better my life. I'm just not going to do it.
Nice.
So is it just tigers that you rescue, or all of your other exotic?
I've never said no to any animal.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. That's great.
Yep. And what we do too, you know, because probably 8 or 9 years ago, we got a call that somebody got killed over in Columbus, Missouri, at a sanctuary, and they had 42 tigers, and we go over there and we get all 42 tigers and we bring them here, because I'm the only one in the United States that has the semis and the equipment and everything to go do something that big. We bring them here and we get them up to health, and the ones that are not, cross-eyed or missing a tail or missing half their ears or something like that, we donate them to zoos all over the world. I have sent cats to Bulgaria. I donated there's only 2 male ligers in this entire world, and they were both born here. I have one, and I gave one to the Crown Prince of Dubai as a gift.
Oh my god.
So we're the only 2 that have one. All right. So the thing is, and a lot of people don't understand this as well either. I'm a private zoo. The Oklahoma City's a private zoo. Okay, they're AZA accredited. I'm not. Okay, a lot of people think that the AZA is a government agency that says, "Oh, you're good, you're licensed." It's not. It's a country club of zoos. Okay, but in order to be a member of that country club, your animals have to be wild caught. So every animal in the Oklahoma City Zoo come from the wild. Okay, in my theory of breeding in captivity and donating these tigers that I rescue to a zoo. You go to a zoo, do you care if it's a Bengal tiger, a Siberian tiger, or are you looking at a tiger with orange and black stripes?
Yeah, tiger, yeah.
Okay, all right?
Yeah.
Honestly. So if I can donate unwanted tigers to zoos that will take an unwanted tiger and put them in a $2 million display instead of a overcrowded sanctuary, I've done one thing good, okay? I've done another thing good because they don't have to go catch them out of the wild anymore.
Yeah.
So we're saving animals in the wild by breeding them in captivity.
Yeah.
If we can just get the AZA and our politicians. See, our politicians think that the AZA is a government agency. And you can't talk to a politician, they're just closed-minded. Okay? So if I can get the word out that the AZA zoos need to start taking donated unwanted tigers instead of catching them out of the wild, we could save some of the wild tigers, right? Instead of them flying one in from Peru, Hey, that exact same lady that's flying that tiger in just was on Yahoo News last week saying there's too many tigers in America. Well, if there's too many tigers in America, why the hell are you flying another one in? It's about money. She can raise another $1 million on a tiger coming from Peru. She'll keep it till the money train runs out, and then she'll euthanize it. She's killed 167 cats so far.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Very sad world I live in. It really is. People have no idea what I see and what I go through in a day.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we chose you.
Yeah. And it goes back to our local ranchers, They got horses out in the field, they got cows out in the field. When one has a prolapse, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's when their insides come out their backside, or they break a leg, or like a couple years ago, they made it illegal to slaughter a horse for human consumption anymore. So they got all these horses standing out in the fields. Okay, this is where the animal rights people do more harm than they do good. So now they got all these horses standing out in fields with their halters growing in their face and broken legs and starving to death and sick because nobody wants to pay the vet bills or the feed bill for something that's not worth anything. Okay, so Joe gets the bad end of the stick, okay? They'll bring, I could show you pictures that would make you puke. They bring in horses with halters grow clear into their eyeballs. And then, I'm the one that has to shoot them. To put them out of their misery, because in order to put them to sleep, if our vet gave them a shot to put them to sleep, I couldn't use the meat to feed the cats, which is the circle of life, okay? So instead of just putting a horse in a hole in the back field, we feed them to another starving animal, all right? And I'm the one that has to shoot them and watch the blood squirting out of their head, while the animal rights people have got me on the internet making me a bad guy, collecting the money and living high off the hog. And that's what I have a problem with. Very dark world I live in.
Do you ever wonder about the thunder? Do you ever wonder about the night? Do you ever wonder who really loves you?
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a long video, but I think it was an awesome video, and I'd like to thank all the students that drove all the way down here from Oklahoma City and chose me to be the person of their documentary. And I don't think you could get any more of the truth out there. And it's going to be a hell of a long video to upload all night long, but we're going to get it to start uploading, and then we're going to go home. But if you want to change America, ladies and gentlemen, and you want your rights back, it is time for you to stand up and take a stand against the corruption, the crooked politics, the news media that don't want to cover anything about the truth. And you are the only ones that can make that happen. I put a post on Facebook last night, and it's so much to the truth. Those cute little pictures that you put on your Facebook all day long of your animals, you're going to have to start putting some political stuff on there, and you're going to have to start bitching and taking a stand. Because in a couple of years, and I see this happening far faster than a couple of years, those cute little pictures of you and your animals that you love so much are going to be memories, because they're going to take your animals and your rights away. This is not a political stand of just animals, ladies and gentlemen. I stand for the Social Security, the people in nursing homes, our veterans, the illegal immigrants, the IRS, our health care in America, and the way that we go over to other countries and fight wars that we have nothing that we need to even be over there with, spending trillions of dollars and getting nothing back. I'm Joe Exotic, and be sure to log on tomorrow night on joeexotic.tv, ladies and gentlemen, because we're here every night, Thursday through Monday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and this is the way that we need to take our voice back, is to get on worldwide television, whether the news media wants to cover us or not. I'll see you tomorrow night. Remember my motto, I love each and every one of you.